I'm making rainbow cupcakes, and the first step is to preheat the oven to 375 degrees. The first step is to cream the sugar and butter together. The butter is the fat of the product. It is used as a tenderizer in the cupcakes. The fat coats the proteins in the flour, preventing them from forming and bonding with gluten. The butter also adds the flavor. If I use shortening instead, the flavor would be gone and the cupcake would be a different texture. The sugar is responsible for the browning of the cupcakes, that golden color you get. It also binds the moisture in the batter, which creates a finer crumb. In this case, the sugar and butter are creamed together, making more air in the batter. This results in a fluffy, tender product. The sugar is used as a leavening agent as well as a sweetener. If I had used brown sugar instead of white, the cupcakes would be more moist and the flavor would be slightly different from the molasses. Now you're going to add the 2 eggs and the vanilla. The eggs help bind the ingredients together. The whites work as leavening agents and the yolks add a richness. If I were to only use egg whites, the cupcake wouldn't rise as much and it would have a drier texture and product. I'm going to beat this first. Now I add the baking powder and salt mixture. The salt influences the texture in a cupcake. A bit of salt added to the cupcake batter will help balance sweetness and enhance the other flavors. If I were to use salt, there would be a more subtle taste to the cupcake. For example, the vanilla would be more bland. The baking powder reacts with acids to provide leavening in the cupcake. When making these vanilla cupcakes, I don't need to use any other acidic ingredient because baking powder already has acidic traces in it. This will help my cupcake rise. The baking powder produces CO2, which results in more bubbles in the cake mix and a softer finished product. If I was using baking soda instead, since I had no other acidic ingredients, the cupcake wouldn't rise enough and the product would come out flat. Now I'm going to add the flour and milk, starting with flour and ending with flour. The reason I use flour is it helps bind all the other ingredients together. The protein in the flour reacts with the liquid and forms gluten. The gluten causes the product to rise and have a light texture. Flour holds the whole cupcake together. The reason I use bleached flour is because the best cupcakes are obtained from using low-protein flour. They come out soft and tender. If I used whole wheat flour, the product wouldn't rise as much and the consistency and texture would be off. Milk is another ingredient that promotes browning in the cupcakes. Adding milk to the batter will help keep the cupcakes moist. Milk contains the sugar lactose, which bonds with flour proteins and hinders gluten formation. If I were to use too little of milk, the cupcakes wouldn't hold together. They would be dry and most likely crumble apart. I separated the batter into 6 bowls and colored them according to the rainbow. Now I am going to add purple on the bottom and go up backwards from the rainbow in each tin, and each individual cupcake, when you slice it open, will be rainbow. Now I'm going to put it in the oven for 18 to 20 minutes.
Whoa.
I now did the same thing with the icing, separating it, but only using red, blue, and yellow. The lights will contrast the colors on top of the cupcake. And here's the finished product, cut open and iced.